Hey everyone, it's Anna here at Dees with a really beautiful wreath kit for summer, and this one's gonna last you all season long. It's a sunflower greenery wreath, and we're gonna put in some really fun grass. We've used this before on a couple summer wreath kits that we have done in the past. It's just nice and airy and adds a lot to a wreath. So I'm gonna start with an 18-inch grapevine. Everything you need to make the kit, the stems and the ribbon, are gonna be together in a kit on shopdeeslouisville.com. It's not gonna include the 18-inch grapevine though. This is sold separately, and the reason we do that is it helps keep the cost of shipping down, and you can easily find these wherever you are. If you can't though, just add one to the cart too. But this is the 18-inch, what we consider a medium grapevine, and it works great for a front door. So we're gonna do two different stems on this one. I've got the large bush of sunflowers, and the reason I love this one for all summer is because it's not just the golden yellow sunflowers, it's also got the white, like kind of creamy ivory ones on there. Those are super pretty. So we're gonna do this larger bush at the bottom, fluff it out, and then we're gonna do a little, the pick stem of that up here by itself. If you like these on their own, they are sold as a set of 3 up in the floral supply tab. So we're gonna start out by cutting the stem off the bottom of the big bush, and we're gonna fluff. So on these bushes that are mixed, I really like them because you can use them all as one piece if you like that. You don't want to have to worry about placement of flowers, or you can cut them apart even further. So what I like to do is kind of fluff it out and hold it up and see if I need to cut it apart, like if it doesn't go the correct direction, or I really want a little bit more control over where everything's going, then I'll take some time and I'll chop it apart. So I'm just gonna take a minute. Everything in this piece is wired. It's super nice. It's got all kinds of different textures. But I personally think it looks really good on its own. I don't think it needs to be cut apart, but if you wanted to, you absolutely could. I am gonna pull this one little part down, so then I have a little bit coming down as well. So I'm gonna take the stem that I originally cut, the big chunk where it all comes out of, dip that in glue, and I'm gonna push that into my wreath right about 7 o'clock at an angle. Make sure you get it in there really good because this is a very big stem. And then you're gonna need to take a few more minutes just to fluff all those items where they need to go. Okay. Let's bring this leaf down here too. I think we need a little bit more fuller greenery down here. And then I see, like when I start looking at it, I automatically see a gap right in here, and that's where I'm gonna put my ribbon. I'm gonna do the green grass kind of out this way. But first up, I'm gonna add this piece to the top. This design is really good for people that like a fuller look. So if you like to see less of your grapevine, we're gonna add this up here. It's gonna fill in a lot of it. If you are one of those people that don't like the all the way around look, or you like to see more of your grapevine, you could easily kind of shift this and add this down here, and then you'd have like a half design. So if that's more your style, feel free to do it that way. That's what's so great about these kits, is we give you ideas, but you have more freedom to do what you want. Once you get it in the mail, you can kind of do it how you want to create it. So that gives you multiple options. So I've just taken a minute to fluff that out. I'm going to dip it in hot glue, tuck it in. And I just went at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock on this wreath, and it's directly diagonal from the first piece. Okay, so next I'm going to do my grass. I'm going to go ahead and do this before I do my bow. The grass bush is very obviously 3 stems. Let me show you real quick. So you've got 1 hunk, 2 hunk, and 3 hunks. And I like to cut them apart first and then add them in. So with these grass stems, they're not wired. They're just like a paper crepe material. You don't have a lot of control over where they're gonna land. But what I like to do is take my hand and run it opposite up the grass. So the grass is kind of all falling this way, and I like to force it to go the opposite direction, and that helps it stand up. And it's just gonna give you that wild, wispy look. So this look is not for everyone. So if you get this kit and you decide you don't like this grassy look, you can easily just do this. This is so pretty on its own. But I'm gonna dunk that little end of the stem in some glue, and I'm going to the left behind the stem at the bottom. I want this wreath to be fuller at the bottom, so I'm gonna add this one over here and then just kind of spread it out. But look how pretty and fun that is. It's definitely more of like a wild, modern take on a grapevine. It's not gonna be like your everything cut short and tight. It's more airy and open. All right, and now I'm gonna take my next one. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna run my hand the opposite way. And then I'm gonna put that in the little glue and tuck that over here, bottom right. All right, and then just use your hand, kind of move it around. Okay, and then I have one more stem. I'm gonna do that at the top. I'm gonna go straight down into the top, right in here. Last year we used this paper grass on a summer wreath. It was like pinks and yellows and corals, and it was really pretty. So I wanted to do a little bit different this year with the yellows and the sunflowers. Okay, so I've got that on there. You can see it makes your wreath a whole lot bigger. So if you're wanting to add stuff, you want to do a swag and give it length, this grass is great for that. So last step, I chose 2 different ribbons for this. I went with black and white because I think it looks so nice with the sunflowers. First step is the black and white check with the yellow back. You're just gonna make a couple loops with that one first. We're gonna make the bow for the bottom. So I've got a couple loops of that. And then I chose a black and white stripe. I just like how bold it looks up against the wreath. We're gonna lay that on there. Make a couple more loops. All right, I'm gonna tie that in a knot with my cloth covered wire, and then I'm gonna go right underneath of this pale ivory sunflower, twist it around that wreath, and then move all those tails where you want them. Definitely don't let those sunflowers get hidden. Bring those back to the front. And then you're ready to cut those tails. I always like to bring greenery back to the front just so it doesn't look like we stuck a bow on top of it. There we go. Got a couple more tails up here to cut. And now I'm ready to do my bow at the top. So since that black shows up a lot, I'm gonna do just a strip of it in the back. So it's only gonna be about a ½ yard. And then I'm gonna do 2 loops of the check right on top again. They're gonna be a little bit smaller of loops for the top because I don't wanna overpower it. And the reason I switched that up too is I did the check first at the bottom and it kind of goes into the background. So now I'm going to do the check last on the top so it shows up a little bit more and then you can really see both ribbons well. I'm going to tie it in a knot. Go right in between these 2 sunflowers at the top. Twist it around your grapevine. And now you're ready to move those loops around. Okay, I'm gonna cut my tails. Oh, got a piece of grass. And then take a minute just to bring everything back to the front. All right, you guys, such a pretty, nice size wreath for summer. Gives you a great look for your front door that's gonna show up really well from the street. And again, everything you see here is gonna be up in a kit on shopdeeslouisville.com.